Hey everybody, Adrian Alvi here, your host today and chef for our second episode of our Save the Day Kids cooking class. So we're glad that you're joining us again today. If you were with us yesterday, we tried a new format, running it from the event page. It didn't allow us to be able to see live comments, and so we really didn't know if people were commenting or who was on, and so sorry about that, guys. We plan on a lot more interaction today with the new format. So thanks a lot for joining us again today. We are again talking about lunch, and so with lunch it's a great meal because you have a lot of little options that you can pick from. And today we're going to be making pizzas. We're going to do a couple different styles of pizza. We're also going to be doing some ham and cheese wraps, as well as a few other little tips and tricks and techniques for some other simple things that we can do for lunch as well, especially for kids. And so kids, if you're around, say hi and put something in the comments. And for our kitchen consultants, if you can put your website, so those people who sell our seasonings, put your websites in, actual link to them in the comments there, and that'd be great so people can click right on your links if they want to.
Yeah, I'm already seeing a hello from Cheryl Myers. We've got Shirley Funk, Stephanie Pennington are all on right now. And those are all of our kitchen consultants that can help you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. And I'll tell you a couple stories. Some lessons I learned early on that were helpful to me, and I think could be helpful to kids nowadays, all right, is that I learned early on that you really can do anything you want to if your heart is in it. And if your heart's not in it, it's really hard to do what you want to do. And so one example is I was a dishwasher at a bakery, and my brother got a job as a dishwasher at a restaurant, and I was like, my brother's in at the restaurant, I have an in, and I want to be a cook. I'm like ready to be a cook. I was 15 years old. I'm like, I'm ready to be a cook. And so I talked to the restaurant, and they're like, no, we don't need any cooks, but if you want to be a dishwasher, you can be a dishwasher. We need another dishwasher. And I'm like, okay, well, let's be a dishwasher then. And so I started as a dishwasher, and 48 hours later, I was a cook. And the reason why is because just like when I was telling you about, like, I was in the kitchen with my mom and my grandma as a little kid and bothering them, it was the same way at my first restaurant. I was hired to be a dishwasher, but they couldn't keep me out of the kitchen because that was what I loved. And so kids, if you love cooking, that's great. If you don't love cooking, I'm here to teach you a few things that will make it a lot easier to do something that you're going to have to do for the rest of your life, which is eat. And if eating can be a better experience for you and for people around you, it's going to be awesome for everybody because we love our food. Okay.
Absolutely.
Any questions, anything, comments, just go ahead and ask away. We love to take questions and we love to talk about food. So.
Sounds great.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do tonight. So we have pizza, and let's talk about pizza first. And so pizza is a great thing for lunch, for dinner. It's so versatile. You can do almost anything on it. You can make dessert pizzas. You can make white sauce pizzas. We're going to do like a real traditional red sauce pizza today, and we're going to do it a couple ways. So one way is we're going to do it on frozen bread dough right here. You can buy it at any store, frozen dough balls. And we put these out a couple hours ago, and so they're nice and soft now, starting just a little bit to rise. And that's the perfect state in which to make these into a great pizza dough to use right away. And then the other way is we're going to do the French bread. In this case, we're going to do a little French roll. If you have French bread, you can cut slices of French bread. You can cut it lengthwise and make it all kinds of different ways too. In cutting rolls, you have two different kinds of knives. We have the kind with the flat edge here, and we have the kind with a little bit of a, we call that serrated, okay? And so serrated edge is not smooth and straight, and so the flat edge is a lot better for things like meat, while the serrated edge would be great for things like cutting a tomato, or in this case, bread, where you don't want, in this case, to just tear the bread, which that would do, and it doesn't cut through very nicely.
You end up smashing it.
You end up smashing it, whereas the serrated knife will actually cut through when you break through that. And that's exactly what we're going to do right there. We open that up. I'm not making a sandwich.
I'll make a side note here. If you're a kid cooking for somebody else, please wash your hands.
That's right. You should wash your hands right before this. Thanks so much for that reminder, Jen. And so we're going to put these on our, this is just a cooking stone. You can use a cookie sheet or whatever you have. And a lot of times you can even use, some plates are made that you can put them right in the oven. And So we have our little dough balls here, and these are fantastic. If you need to and find these stick to your fingers a lot, you can put a little flour around the outside. That's not a problem. But you can simply squeeze it and pull it like that. Squeeze along the outside, pull it, and then you can just kind of work the outside like that, and it makes it round and long, and you're using your other fingers to hold it like that. You can stretch it, but not too far, right? That's the trick with that. That's the thing, is where you want to stretch it. You can see it's getting really thin there in the middle, and it's much thicker around the outside, so I'm really only working the outside edges as I'm pulling that out. Working the outside.
Is that better than using a rolling pin?
Not necessarily better. You can use a rolling pin. You're definitely going to need some flour if you're going to do a rolling pin. And you know what? That's probably in many ways an easier way to do it if you have a nice rolling pin, and if the dough is soft enough to be able to do it. You can also do a double if you want to, which we will do a lot. We do
Make it a little bit bigger.
Double-sized pizza where we're going to do that a little bit bigger. And what we'll do is we'll put some toppings on this, and this is the point, if you even had more and you want to have some fun with it, and you don't care if you drop it, you can throw it up in the air. But kids, get your parents' permission before you do that.
What I think is fun about the little balls is you can make cute little individual pizzas, and kids like things that are small. If it's kid size, it's more fun and more likely to be eaten. So
yeah,
you can make them nice and small.
Jen and I like a lot of toppings on our pizza, and our kids, not so much on the mushrooms and onions and that kind of thing, but give me cheese and pepperoni for kids, right? So if you have little pizzas, it's easy to customize and do just what the kids want. So there's a few toppings we're going to do for this. First of all, I have heated up the oven to 400 degrees here, and so that's ready to go. So you'd have that done, and you can put as little or as lot of sauce as you want on there, and you spoon it on, and you can spread it just with the spoon, just like that, okay? So if you want more, you can put more on. If you want less, you can put less on. Either way, this is just the store-bought red sauce. However, if you're like out of red sauce, and what we're going to do to enhance any store sauce is we're going to add our Italian seasonings, the Save the Day Seasonings. The Italian blend are really, really good to sprinkle just right on top of that.
So you're using the bulk size, but we also have, if you can see, these are our single jars. And so these are glass jars that are refillable. And refill pouches are less than the original glass jar if you want to recycle your jar. Lots of flavors, 18 total. And you can get in the bulk as well.
That's right, and as I was saying, if you had no red sauce, you could use plain tomato sauce, or literally take a tomato and put it in the blender and mix it with our Italian seasoning, and I would cook it for just a little bit, and you have a perfect tomato pasta sauce, pizza sauce, whatever you want right there.
Yes.
So with these, the great thing is you can kind of do whatever you want. We're going to put some mozzarella cheese on there and a few different toppings. Now we're going to use some cheese, some olives, we have some pepperoni, we have some mushrooms and onions. And if you like ham or pineapple or whatever it is that you like, then you can get whatever it is you like and be able to make it for yourself or for mom on Mother's Day and make a nice little homemade pizza. Put as much cheese as you particularly like on that. And I know if I was a kid, I'd be putting a lot of cheese on there. I like cheese.
So out of curiosity, now that we've been going for a little bit, are there any kids cooking along with us today? If so, please let us know. We want to be able to see if you have any questions and have you cook along. One thing I would ask you is, does it matter if you use if you put the cheese on first, or does it matter the order of the toppings?
It's a really good question, because there's professional pizza places that sometimes do it both ways. Most common is to put the cheese on first and then the toppings on top. The main reason for doing it that way is that the cheese tends to melt faster than it takes to cook the toppings. So in other words, if you cook it and you have the toppings underneath and the cheese on top, the cheese might get brown and overdone before the toppings are actually cooked and hot enough underneath them. Doesn't mean that's always going to be the case, because the temperature you cook it at and other factors are involved in that as well. It's just harder to get a really, really good pizza cooked just right with the cheese on top and the toppings underneath.
So the toppings over the cheese don't matter as much just as having the cheese on the bottom.
Typically,
For the most part. Hey, Camille Petty says her son Elliot is cooking along with us today.
Awesome.
So we do have...
How old is Elliot, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it's helpful to know who we're talking to,
Because
age-wise.
there's different age groups that you can do different things during this process, okay? So we have 3 main age groups we've been talking about. Your toddler, which is like 2 to 3, and then like 4 to 7, and then about 8 to 12. And then age 13 or older usually can do most things that an adult can with training and safety and all that kind of stuff too. And so for a toddler, they can definitely help. Even putting the pasta sauce on, if you put it on there, they can help spread the pasta sauce on. They can put toppings on, put cheese on as well, and help with those kind of things.
And who doesn't love playing with dough, right?
That's right.
If you're okay.
They can play with the dough, but they're probably not going to
Yeah.
do it. If you give them a little dough ball, though, find one dough ball on a little cutting board with a rolling pin, and that kid is going to have a great time with that.
Just like Play-Doh.
Absolutely.
Camille says he is 5, almost 6.
5, almost 6. So that's a great age to start talking a lot about food. And Camille, if you can post, does he like to cook? Or tell me what kinds of foods he likes, and then we'll steer it that way as well. So we've got, in our case, we like olives on some pizza, so we're going to put some olives on. My boys, they just like pepperoni. That's pretty much
Cheese
it
and
right
pepperoni,
now. Cheese
yep.
and pepperoni. I've got some mushrooms and onions right here. These are just raw. So that's why I say if these onions, raw onions, were underneath the cheese, they would be not really cooked by the time we're done. As it stands, the onions will be able to cook somewhat. Now, if you're not a huge raw onion fan, Jen's not a huge raw onion fan, I could saute those real good. Sauteed mushroom and onions are great for pizza as well. All right, and then a little Italian. We've got on there, I want to put just a little bit of the Alvi's Incredible on there because that's so good on anything, but really adds a nice little touch to pizza as well. We're going to show a couple things you can do with this today and just make it really easy to make it look like a superstar in the kitchen, okay? Even a 5-year-old can be a superstar in the kitchen, okay?
Camille says he loves to help in the kitchen, and his favorite actually to help is making homemade pizza, so this is great.
Fantastic. And if you have any tips, make sure you let us know, okay? Because kids have good tips too. So, okay, so we have those, and that's ready to go. Now we can put a little tomato on there, and Jen likes tomatoes on the pizza. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it before you cook it or after you cook it. We like to do it before. That way they get a little bit cooked. Again, I'm going to take the serrated knife and I'm going to cut the tomato. Now, if you have a really nice, sharp, flat knife, you can do tomato with a flat knife, but it's harder because you got to break through the skin, right? This knife is not particularly sharp, but it is sharp enough to cut through the tomato. However, when I'm going to do multiple of them together, which I'm going to do right now so that I can make some cubes, it's a lot easier to do with the serrated knife. So just like that, like that.
Camille says, Elliot says, always make sure to put lots of cheese. Yes, kids love cheese. That's comfort food right there, right? Anything with cheese.
Yeah, and you know, I've debated most of my adult life with myself as to how much I really want to grow up. And I've decided that there's elements of childhood that I really never want to lose. And one of those is the excitement about learning. And my excitement for food when I was a kid is certainly been enhanced over the years. It's far deeper and far greater now than it ever has been. But really a desire to learn is such an important thing that we tend to lose a little bit over the years, where we get really comfortable with doing things the same way over and over as adults. Even things like our careers and things like that. And so the more we can branch out a little bit and try experimenting, especially when it doesn't take us too far out of our comfort zone, just a little bit, to try something new. And that's why we have the seasonings as a bridge the gap between the non-comfort zone in the kitchen and the comfort zone, to make it easier, healthier, tastier for even kids to be able to cook in the kitchen. Okay, throwing this in right now.
Yeah, our seasonings are all natural ingredients, gluten-free, no MSG, no additives, fillers, dyes, or preservatives. So you can feel good using them in the kitchen pretty much with any diet. So that's great.
Absolutely. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to do real quick here.
Okay.
Is rice, okay? I just wanted to throw this in as a side thing because a lot of kids don't know rice. We're taught from a young age that rice is real tricky, and I want to dispel some myths about rice. I've done another class about that. But a couple things that we're told a lot about rice is that you put it in, and you put the lid on, and then you never stir it, right? Or that it's really hard to get rice just right. And so it's really not. And I'm going to show you how and why. Number one is the ratio is super simple. It's 2 to 1. 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice, generally speaking. All right, we're going to put that right in at the start. That's cold water. It hasn't started heating up yet. I just turned that on. And I'm going to just stir that a little bit, get it mixed in. Now, typically you would wait until that boils and then turn it all the way down and then just let it sit there. And so we are going to do that, but I'm also here to let you know it doesn't matter if you stir it during the time. It doesn't matter if you open the lid. There's some people that say, oh, don't open the lid, it'll ruin the rice. And it doesn't. So I just want you to try it and let me know if that works for you too, because it's worked for me every single time to get really good rice. Okay? So I've got that going, and if you guys in the background here, and Jen, if you hear this or see this, the one thing about this is it tends to
bubble over
when it starts to boil. And the thing that tells you what it is it starts boiling and going all over the stove, the water. So keep your eyes open for me, okay? And if that gets going, then we're going to cut that way, way down once we're done, okay? So there's that.
One thing I want to point out while you're prepping for the next thing is that we have a drawing for a prize that's going to happen at the end of these 3 days. So we have one more day of cooking together. And if you look on the event page, we have a Google Docs form that you can fill out, and we're giving away 6 of these little travel-sized jars in the variety box. It's great to get started. They're cute, perfect for kids, or just trying it out, and that can get you going. So that's something you could win for free. So go over there and fill out that form.
All right, awesome. Let's do our second thing for today.
Okay.
And that's going to be our ham and cheese wrap. Okay. So we have a son. We have 4 kids, and the 2 boys are here today. We have an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old son. The 2 girls are in their 20s now. And our youngest son has traditionally been our picky eater. I mean, it's almost like every family needs to have like one really picky eater. And so you can take something like a picky eater would eat, like maybe a ham sandwich or something like that, and you can twist it a little bit so that you can get them to try something they've already done, but maybe in a different way. So in this case, you take something real simple like a ham and cheese sandwich, and you can put it in a new fun way, and kids can make it themselves. And when it's done, it kind of looks neat. And see what we have here.
It feels a little fancy.
It does. Feels a little bit
special.
Fancy. All right. So I have a little mayonnaise right here. Okay.
Okay.
So what we're going to make, instead of just using mayonnaise for our wrap, we're going to make a little bit of flavored mayonnaise, and in this case seasoned with our strong arm. I'm a big fan, and lately it's been my thing is to have strong arm on all my sandwiches. I just put it on top of the mayo. I put the mayo on. I sprinkle it on top. You could do that, or you can do this here. I'll have recipes for you. You can add a little strong arm, about a half a teaspoon per quarter cup.
Can I see the bottle so they can see what you're saying? Strong arm is ARM, standing for all-purpose rub marinade. Comes in all the different sizes.
And then we just simply mix it together. Again, the simple version, the simple version of that is simply putting the mayonnaise on and sprinkling the strong arm on top. You can do that with any of our seasonings, like they all work pretty well. But if you want to just take a little bit, and again, we're going to do it kind of a little bit like a pizza, okay? We're going to put a little on there, and we're going to spread it around. Now, you probably don't want too much of this, unless you really like extra mayonnaise, because it's being flavored, and it's going to be wrapped up, so you're going to get layers of it. We'll do it almost up to the edge. We're going to leave a little bit on the edge, okay?
Okay.
Let me grab my deli meat real quick here that I set aside. We just have some ham slices here, just deli ham, which we're going to just slap right there, just like that, okay? And now at this point, you can put whatever it is you like. Now, if you like a little cheese, we just have grated cheese on hand, so that's what we're going to use, grated cheese. And a little cheddar cheese like that. A little lettuce in this case.
I think, kids are pretty awesome, creatively speaking. When they start out, there's not a lot of rules that they go by. It's easy for them to be creative. So if you just give your kids a little bit of room in the kitchen to be creative, they will really enjoy the cooking process. I think sometimes as adults, we get a little huffy and stuffy about what's okay, what's not okay. I think it can be concerning that they're going to mess something up. But when you think about all the times they're learning stuff at school or in sports, messing up is all part of it. And if you're okay allowing sometimes meals being messed up a little bit, it's worth the investment.
You know, there really is. You know, we've learned that in running a business. It's so important to teach people how to do jobs rather than doing everything yourself, because you can't do everything in business yourself. And so the better we are at teaching people how to do things, even though it's easier to do it ourselves and takes more time up front, the better off everybody is in the long run.
And the more chance your kids are going to move out of the house when they're 20.
That's right.
Or 18
exactly.
or whatever.
All right, so you know what? We're going to add a little avocado to this. And if you've never cut an avocado, kids, there are safe ways and not safe ways to cut avocados. And most of the ways that you can cut an avocado are not safe unless you know what you're doing. In this case, the avocado has a large pit inside, right? So it's about like that size, an okay sign size. And so it's okay for me to cut right into that going towards my hand because it stops right there at the pit, okay? And I'm just going to twist that around.
Now, you could do that on a table,
You can do
too,
it on a table,
if you're
whatever
concerned
you
about the
want.
hand.
Right around like that.
That might be even
Okay.
extra safe.
That's great. Okay, so
Oh,
there we go.
there it is. We got the audio sign of this being boiling a little bit.
Now I'm going to cut it all the way down to low as it can go. I'm still going to cover it. And like I said, it's okay if you stir that. It's okay if you lift the lid to look at it once in a while. If it's close to being done, give it a little stir and look at it and see if it's good. No problem at all. Okay? That's like a wrap right there. Not a wrap. It's a wrap on the wrap. We're going to wrap that up
Beautiful. It's so colorful.
like that. The thing is, a lot of that stuff is going to want to force its way out.
You got it good and loaded.
Good and loaded. Now, you can leave it like this. You can put toothpicks through this, and that makes it a lot easier. Okay, if you're going to do that. But either way, you can cut it in half and have it like a half a sandwich like that, or sort of like a burrito type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can actually cut it in little pieces like that. Okay? And if that's the case, then you can have it, and you can put it right on your,
Looks pretty.
wherever you want.
So again, if you want to spoil your mom on Sunday, kids, make up one of these guys for lunch. Put it on a fancy plate, give
Or you
her a
can do
flower
something like that.
and a card.
And again, you put
It's
whatever
delicious.
you want in there, and if you put less in there, you can get more wraps out of it, you know, and it looks more spirally. But either way, you got yourself a nice little something to eat that looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so really quick, I'm going to cut this on while we're here, and what I have in here is a can of store-bought tomato soup. All right, now, when I was a kid, like, keep tomato soup away from me. It's not that appealing, okay? As I've grown up, I don't mind tomato soup at all. However, there are a few things to do that can make tomato soup much more enjoyable than it is most of the time. So usually with the tomato soup, what they tell us to add a little water or milk to it in order, because it usually comes quite thick.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it, right?
Mm-hmm. I
But
get cans worth usually of liquid.
fortunately, we have the Alvi's Incredible, which you quite literally can use this on any can of soup that you buy, any cost. So you buy the cheapest soup if you want to, and you can add this to it, and it will taste like 90% better, okay? So we have that going, and it's quite thick there, so I'm going to add about a quarter cup of milk to that and see what that does, if that's about right. If you needed to add a little bit more milk or water, you can. And what would help you decide is if you want it like a more creamier soup, you could add milk. If you just like a more soup that's not as creamy, you can add water. That's not as problem. Not everybody likes a creamy soup. Some people just like a regular type of soup. And actually that is still a little bit thick, so I could add a little bit more milk or water to that, no problem. But I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of the Alvi's Incredible. And you can do this with any soup that you buy, that you make. You can add the Alvi's Incredible. Now, if I'm making a soup from scratch, it's really, really easy. And on our recipe card that comes with our seasonings on all the purchases, it tells you how to make a really good homemade soup. My favorite is to use half Alvi's Incredible and half of the Italian, equal portions. And I can make almost any soup, and it tastes like that soup, like a split pea or chicken noodle or clam chowder. I can use both of those seasonings, and it makes really good soup regardless of what type I'm making. So that's the magic of the Alvi's Incredible. It just works with everything and makes whatever it's on taste like its best it.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's take a look at that. So we've had those in there for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And it
Looking
looks
pretty
like
good.
I did
Little
spray a little bit of cooking spray on that, by the way, because that will help it a lot. You don't have to, But if you do, it helps because then you don't have to use, like the metal spatula to scrape it off sometimes. And I'm going to give that about a couple more minutes.
Nice thing about a canned soup, if you're a young new cook and you're trying to make something that's not too complicated, you can do just what Adrian said. Even put it in a microwave safe bowl if you can't use the stove yet, and make a nice soup that way.
And while you're saying that, I actually do have something I can do in the microwave safe thing, because we have this little plastic container that we bought that you can do pretty much anything in the microwave. So add some water to that. How many kids like ramen noodles? A lot of kids like ramen noodles.
Even our big kids still like it.
And I'm just gonna put that in there.
I personally like to break it up before I take out the bag. If you don't want the longer noodles, you can do that.
Let's do that. Break it up
while it's still brittle, and then it cooks up without super long noodles, and they don't slide all over your face.
Okay, and I'm gonna get that going. What do we do? Like 2 minutes?
Yeah, about 2 minutes. If you like it a little on the crunchy side, like my son, I do less than that.
2 minutes.
Oh, good. We've got another kid with us, a 5-year-old, Wiley Coyote. Oh, that's a fun name. He's a chef in training here, watching.
Wiley Coyote.
I love it.
Nice. So these ramen noodles, guys, they come with their very own MSG packet. So if you don't want that, we use the Chinese seasoning in ramen noodles all the time. It is so good, and it makes it really good in general, a Chinese soup or a pho, if you like, if you know what pho is. And so the Chinese is kind of one of the really good blends that we use a lot of, that a lot of people don't even know about, that we have this great Chinese blend that you can use instead of the packets in ramen noodles. Now you can also do whatever you want. You can put Italian on the ramen noodles or any other,
or
Thai
incredible,
or Indian or whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a few things going. We've got the rice, we've got the tomato soup, we've got the ramen noodles, and guys, those are all cooking at the same time, and I'm not really doing that much work, right? I'm just watching them cook, making sure that they're okay, making sure that we're not bubbling over, that we're not getting too hot here. And we've got our fourth thing, which is our pizza in the oven. There we go. Now we're looking quite good. Thank you very much. And let me bring those
that
out.
looks wonderful. We've also made, I'm sure you guys have tried this too, is you can take those nice thick big bagels and turn those into the pizza crust as well. Make bagel pizzas.
So there we go. You can see how nice those are looking. Like those are like legit looking pizzas, and you just use frozen dough. A great looking French bread pizza. It's great texture. That was at 400 degrees for 12 minutes, guys, and ready to go.
Fabulous.
Okay, love it.
Also, I'd love to share, we have, during the rest of this week as an event special, we are giving a discount code. If you want to purchase, if you don't win the drawing, you might want to purchase. We have 6 of these little jars that come in the box. You get to select which 6 blends out of all 18 blends. And the discount code to have $5 off is the word KIDS, KIDS. And you can purchase, this is normally $20 for the 6 jars. You can get it for $15.
All right, thank you so much for that reminder.
And one more thing, we have consultants here joining us now. They can put their links in, but also in the event page, there's a sheet that has all the different websites you can order from.
Thank you so much. Now take a quick look at the tomato soup jar. I did add a little bit more water to it, so it's the right consistency. And as soon as that heats up, I'm going to taste that and be able to describe what makes it different than just like a canned tomato soup. That's what I got when I was a kid. That's why I ended up not really liking just regular tomato soup with milk or water added, maybe salt or pepper. With the Alvi's Incredible, just gives us much more dimension and much more flavor. That's really broader appeal even to kids. So, okay, let's check our rice real quick.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look as I lift that up. We can see it's just starting to.
Yeah.
There's plenty of water there still. Okay, so we're going to have another 10 minutes on that, maybe a little bit less, and we're ready to go. All right.
Do we have any questions out there? Any kids that are cooking that want to know how to do something or questions of what we've already taught? I will say that we have a coloring page that we have posted also in the event page. You can download and color with your kids, showing some kitchen tools.
Great. And here's the avocado I was going to put in the wrap, but in actuality, I was going going to finish showing you how to cut and use an avocado. So I cut around the edges, right? And then you can just simply twist it and unlock that avocado open. And that's when you find out whether you have a good avocado or not. Because it could end up being that your avocado
it's a mystery.
is
Surprise.
dark and bruised. They bruise very easily. A lot of times they're not ripe, which is it's hard to cut in, or you can't twist it like that. It means it's not ripe enough. And then you just have to let it sit. There's a few hacks you can do to try to get it to ripen up faster. But to get the pit out then, like how do you get that out? It's really slippery. You can't get that out. But if you have it down there, okay, now if you want to keep your hands away from it, you'd simply go down on it like that. Or if you're really good with a knife, you can do it like that. But just be very careful, right? You do it like that to get it in, you twist it.
Yeah, that might be one of those 13 and older tasks.
It's definitely an older one task. And in fact, but if you're 8 to 12, you can still be really, really careful, and you can be able to do that with some supervision too, okay? And so now with the avocado, what do we do with that? How do we get the pit off? Just like that, okay? And what you can do is you can slice a little bit in like that. Be really careful. Keep it down if you want to, whatever you want. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to use a spoon.
This is actually an avocado. Oh, it's kind of broken.
Okay.
They make some nice, safe plastic avocado slicers and cutters that are really convenient too.
But the spoon works good. You can spoon out that avocado like that. This is a great way to slice it. Another area where you're going to find some bad spots sometimes would be on the back side of an avocado. And now, avocado is always good until it looks bad. Okay, so no problem eating an avocado.
Oxygen is kind of...
oxygen, and unless it looks bad and dark. Okay, so you'll know if it looks bad. But this is a perfectly ripe avocado because it is soft but not mushy. So when you have an avocado, it's perfect if you bite into it and it doesn't fall into mush in your mouth, but adds the texture and the flavor that we love in avocado. Now, I'm going to show you something we love to do real quick. So you can do guacamole with avocado, and I'm going to show you how to do really good guacamole. But you can also do something that we call avocado toast, which is really, really easy.
Yeah, this is definitely something, kids, depending on the age, a lot of them know how to use the toaster.
Toast in the toaster. Okay, and our soup is done here.
Oh yeah, let's check out the soup.
I'm going to put that in a bowl and let that cool down just a little bit. All right, that's a beautiful tomato soup. It would be great to have like a little breadstick or something to dip in that as bread.
I love grilled cheese as a side sandwich.
Grilled cheese and tomato soup is one of our favorite
It's a
ones.
good combo.
It's great to dip those in there. And we got that. Now, we've got the toast going. And what I have here is a little glove, which I'm going to do. You can do avocado and mush it for guacamole a couple ways.
Oh, this
is great, right? A fork works good, but it's a little awkward. So what I love to do is the human hand is made perfect for squishing avocado, and kids just love this.
I don't know what kid wouldn't love to squish an avocado.
You literally just put it in your hand and you squish it out.
Oh.
In the hand and squish it out, okay?
Just make sure...
I do it towards the bowl, but not up. I was just showing you there. But if you do that just a few times, you will see that it is basically perfectly mashed avocado. And then I simply just shed the glove and it's all good, right? Now, with the avocado toast, as soon as that pops up, I'm going to put a little butter on it. Let me grab my butter.
Hey, just a side note, you kids, don't think you can take like a dirty kitchen glove or a garden glove. It's got to be a disposable plastic glove that's clean. So you have to ask your mom on that one.
We make our seasonings and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So, that's good, and that's good. You saw our pizza. Now, what I like to do with this, if I'm making guacamole, I would add a little bit of our Mexican seasoning to that, and a little chopped tomato. You can do a little tiny chopped onion you want, cilantro, things like that.
Little lime juice.
Quite literally, if you just put avocado and a little of our Mexican seasoning,
So good.
If that's all you had, you could get away with that. But we like to add the 3 things: tomato, onion, and a little bit of cilantro as well, if you like that.
Katie Marshall says that she loves avocado toast with corned beef, and her mom makes good bread.
With corned beef, yeah, that's taking toast to a new level.
Yeah.
Right? That's making it more of a meal. In fact, that's a good idea for a lunch. You could do a toast with avocado, and then you could put chicken, you could put shrimp or things like that on it, and then any flavor seasoning you want as well.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to turn the oven off. That's one thing I tend to forget to do a lot, is turn the oven off after I'm done. So kids, don't forget to turn things off when you're done.
Yes, we don't want
When I worked
things.
at restaurants, we just leave the oven on all day. We put things in and out of it all day, and so you never have to get into the habit of turning it off. And so I brought that with me. Okay, so I was waiting for the toast, which came up. So there's a little bit of toast there, wonderful. We put a little butter on, a little butter holder, a little butter on the toast, okay?
Before you put the avocado on, I just want to say one other idea that my kids absolutely love is just butter and put some of that Italian on there. And that alone is like the most amazing, it's like you made homemade Italian bread. So just wanted to point that out before you.
Thank you. It is a
Add the-
really easy way to do that, right? Instead of like grilling the bread or things like that, you can simply toast it. And in this case, we're just going to spread a little avocado. And then again, just like the pizza, just like the wrap, you can take this from here wherever you want, or you can leave it just like this. Put a little lemon juice on it. Lemon is great. And a little bit of...
Yes, I love the lemon
seasoning.
juice, and it also helps keep that avocado from turning brown so quickly.
Correct.
But I usually
Yeah.
eat it pretty quick, so it doesn't have a chance to turn
So
brown.
that's a really good thing. Great in the morning as well if you want a nice healthy breakfast. Great at lunch as well if you need something quick and easy. That's got packs a lot of vitamins and minerals and the right kind of fats in the avocado. Okay. Let me try the soup real quick. And we also have ramen noodles here.
So Katie says, Wiley, her son, says your mashed avocado looks like green skin on your glove.
Okay, yeah. I'll agree with that. Yeah.
You
thanks.
can use your imagination.
Really hot here, guys.
Let me take a look here. I find too, if you have trouble, and we mentioned this yesterday, of getting your kids to eat healthy foods, the best way you can get them to want to try is by participating in the creation of those foods.
She's correct about that. I am always surprised. I am never not surprised at how good that Alvi's Incredible makes tomato soup among like every other soup. Like I've bought the clam chowder. I really like clam chowder, but I'm not a huge fan of like the canned clam chowders. But I can buy the canned clam chowders and add the Alvi's Incredible or a little Italian or some of the real dill. And it just gives it that little extra thing that you tend to get in restaurants, not at home, that little extra flavor. And again, really good with the grilled cheese. You can put Parmesan cheese, sprinkle it on there, some cheddar cheese. You can sprinkle it in there too if you want to. Okay. And kids, you can make that for your mom on Mother's Day if you want to.
Or anytime. I mean,
Or
that you're allowed.
Or anytime, that's right. So I'm going to just drain that. This is the great thing about this particular one. It has these little holes here. That's a Pampered Chef one here where you can drain that out if you want to. That's what I'm going to do now. You don't have to drain it. You can keep it as the soup. Right?
So these are the ramen noodles.
Okay, so
Yeah, sometimes ramen I often think is more of something the kids like and not always something that I like. But when you do what Adrian's doing with the Save the Day Chinese blend and put that in there, and then you can add, some cooked veggies like peas or whatever, some onion,
if you had some
mushroom.
grilled chicken,
Yep.
vegetables, mushrooms, anything you could add it to that, and you almost have like a pasta dish that you can do. Dump it, you got a pasta dish you can
So
use.
good.
Or leave the water in, add it, and you've got yourself a nice little Chinese noodle soup. You could add some vegetables if you want to that, or whatever you want. And you could take that again from something simple to something that looks really complex, but isn't that complex and not that hard to make, kids. Okay? All right, so we have all that. And guys, we have bingo tomorrow. Did we talk about bingo
No,
yet?
we
Okay,
haven't.
Bingo tomorrow. So is the thing uploaded yet?
No, I'm going to put it on just as soon as we're done here.
Okay, so after we're done, you're going to have the bingo sheet for tomorrow. So please join us for dinner and dessert tomorrow, okay? We're going to have a great time doing it because that's where things really open up to what we, do big, nice meals. Dinner
Yes.
stuff. So we're going to do lasagna and we're going to do something else tomorrow.
Yes. The Shirley Funk want to know how long you microwave that ramen for again?
2 minutes. Did it for 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and it will, if you leave it in the hot liquid, it's going to continue to soften. So, you'd want to eat it pretty soon after that because ramen just continues to absorb over time. So eat it fairly soon after that. So the bingo, let me explain. I'm just going to take a look again over here at this pizza while I talk about bingo. The bingo form or sheet will be loaded. You can download it, have it available, and tomorrow kids can listen for the key words on the bingo sheet that Adrian's going to be speaking about. And when you hear those things, you cross it out. And when you get a bingo, you guys can message us with that bingo sheet and let us know if you want us to send you a free sample of one of our seasonings. We've got little sample packets we can send you. So that'll be your prize for playing our bingo game tomorrow.
And we did get asked about recipes yesterday. And guys,
Yes.
what we're going to do is at the very end, we are going to have all the recipes together in one document for you. We'll upload that for you so you can get all the recipes we've done, all the tips that we've done for you. And so look for it after tomorrow's meeting at some point. You will have a document that has breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the things that we talked about.
Yes. All right. Well, I think that does it for today.
That sure does it for today. Thank you so much for joining us again, guys, and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you guys again sometime in the future.
Take care.